Now to the rest of the news from the local share market, and earlier I spoke to Martin Lakos from Macquarie Private Wealth. Martin Lakos, very little overall movement this session. The market seems a bit tired.
Tiki, yes indeed. We had a bit of a flat session with financials and telcos up about 0.5% and energy and materials down 0.5%. Now it really begs the question whether the market is topping out in the short term, and there's a few factors that might be suggesting that it is. The resources sector's had a great performance, particularly late last year, but in fact share prices have gone beyond the performance of commodity prices, of those underlying commodities. So we might see that valuations just a little bit stretched in the short term. The US market's been strong, and understandably with their corporate reporting season's been really good. But the last couple of weeks, or except for the last couple of weeks, the US market had 8 consecutive up weeks. So again, you'd think that maybe we'll take a bit of a breather. And look, there's a couple of things on the horizon. Obviously, the China inflation issues there. Whether, in fact, the Chinese authorities decide to raise rates a bit more, we have to watch closely. But what's been really interesting, Tiki, is that international money seems to be rotating out of the emerging markets and into the more developed share markets. So we're seeing a little bit of money coming out of places like Brazil and China in the short term. So all those factors together might suggest the market can come off a little bit. We don't think it's going to come off a lot. 4,800 was a barrier for the market to break through. That might now lend support to the market. So maybe 100, 130 points downside.
Now, not quite blood on the floor, but CSL's profits have been hurt by the strong dollar. How have investors reacted?
Yeah, look, the number actually came in slightly better than anticipated, but that was probably boosted by slightly better interest and tax charges. Came in at about $500 million. A couple of key units did very, very well. The plasma business doing very well. I better get this right. The immunoglobulin group also has, thank you, saw sales up 22%. Some of that was volume, some of that was product, but overall sales only up 2%, and that's where we're seeing the impact of the Aussie dollar. They did reconfirm guidance for the full year in line with market expectations of $980 to $1 billion, or just a touch over. So the market's pretty happy with that. But again, the stock price had run ahead of this and was down about 30 or 40 cents today at $37.
Now, profit warning from the Bank of Queensland and a slide in the share price.
Yeah, look, this has very much got to do with what's happening in Queensland on the floods. Clearly, both business activity has started to slow. They've taken a $45 million overlay charge against that activity and other issues in regards to those weather conditions. Now, that's going to concern the market. It means the guidance is down now by about 35 mil. Possible guidance range $175 to $195 million. So the market was sort of slightly aware of that anyway, but they've also flagged they might have to cut their dividend, which was a bit of a surprise. So we've got to watch that space. Tier 1 capital, very much in line, so balance sheet pretty strong. Clearly they've got some operational issues.
Martin Lakos, thank you very much for joining us again.
Thanks, Tiki.
To the other major movers on the local share market, the ASX lost ground as investors considered the chances of success of the sweetened merger deal with the Singapore exchange. Gloucester Coal fell nearly 1% despite an increase in profits. The operator of Dreamworld and other theme parks, Ardent Leisure, rose after posting better than expected first half results, and a little extra topping on the profits of Domino's Pizza helped the share price rise 4 cents. Turning to currency markets, the dollar fell below parity overnight but is up a little on the day's trade. On to the commodity markets now, and in New York, oil is up a few cents. Gold has steadied after 2 days of gains, and copper's back below $10,000 a tonne.